I was repairing a plasma conduit when the summons arrived. That alone told me something was wrong. No one summoned a human technician directly to the inner palace. Not unless the situation had already passed the point where protocol mattered. Normally, messages filtered down through overseers, subcommanders, and bureaucratic layers thick enough to bury a career. This one bypassed everything. Royal summons. Immediate attendance required. No explanation. No escort instructions. Just coordinates that led straight through the Capitol spire and into airspace I had only ever seen on state broadcasts. I stood there for a long moment, conduit forgotten, listening to the faint hum of the station around me. Other workers noticed the look on my face and pretended not to. In the sovereign dominion of Aurelian, attention was dangerous. Curiosity even more so. I wiped my hands, sealed my toolkit, and left. I did not know then that I would not be returning to my quarters that night. Or ever. The world that did not belong to me. Humans were not native to Aurelian. That was the truth everyone pretended was ancient history, even though it shaped everything. 3 centuries earlier, our species had arrived as refugees, fleeing a dead spiral arm after our suns collapsed into instability. The Aurelians, tall, silver-eyed, long-lived, had taken us in. They gave us planets. They gave us work. They never gave us power. We became technicians, engineers, laborers, interface specialists, valuable, necessary, replaceable. We were praised for adaptability and quietly barred from command. The laws said we were equal. Culture said otherwise. The royal family sat above all of it, ancient and luminous, ruling an empire stitched together by fleets and fear. The queen herself, Malith Era Vera, had reigned for nearly 80 years and still looked no older than 40 by human reckoning. She was rumored to be brilliant. She was rumored to be ruthless. She was rumored never to summon anyone without already knowing the outcome. That knowledge followed me as the palace shuttle lifted me away from the lower districts and into the rarefied air of the spire. The city fell away beneath us, layers of light and traffic and industry spiraling downward until it blurred into abstraction. When we docked, the doors opened onto silence. The inner palace did not buzz or hum. It breathed. Walls shimmered with living alloys that responded to presence, light shifting subtly as I walked. Guards stood motionless, their armor grown rather than forged, eyes following me without turning their heads. No one spoke. I was guided through corridors that curved in ways my eyes struggled to track, through doors that opened before I touched them, until we reached a chamber with no visible guards at all. The door sealed behind me. The queen waited alone. The queen's gaze. She stood near the panoramic viewport, hands clasped behind her back, looking out at the planet below. From this height, the world looked peaceful. Blue arcs of atmosphere, city lights like constellations mapped onto the surface. She did not turn when I entered. "Approach," she said. Her voice was calm, controlled, and layered with something that resonated in my chest rather than my ears. I stepped forward and stopped where instinct told me to stop. "State your name," she said. "I am Elias Wren," I replied. "Human systems engineer, 3rd class, assigned to orbital infrastructure." "Yes," she said, finally turning. "You repaired the Seraph Gate stabilizers last cycle." "Yes, Your Majesty." "And you rerouted the power cascade manually rather than following protocol." "Yes." "You disobeyed 3 standing orders." I swallowed. "Yes." She studied me, silver eyes unreadable. Then she smiled. "That decision saved 20,000 lives." The smile vanished as quickly as it appeared. "You are not here because of that," she continued. "You are here because my daughter requires a husband." The words landed like a physical blow. I stared at her, certain I had misheard. Your daughter? I repeated stupidly. The crown princess, the queen said. Lysera. My mind raced, grasping for sense. Your Majesty, I believe there has been no mistake. She walked toward me, each step measured. Aurelian law demands that the princess be bonded before she ascends fully to sovereign command. External threats are escalating. Political factions are fracturing. A union must be formed to stabilize the throne. I felt dizzy. Then surely there are nobles. There are, the queen agreed. And each one comes with alliances, obligations, and ambitions that would tear the empire apart within a generation. She stopped an arm's length from me. I require a consort with no claim, no faction, no leverage. Her eyes bored into mine. I require a human. The offer that was not an offer. I laughed. I couldn't help it. The sound burst out of me, sharp and disbelieving, echoing in the vast chamber. It was the kind of laugh people made when reality fractured too suddenly to process. The queen did not react. When the laughter died, she tilted her head slightly. You believe this is absurd? Yes, I said, with respect. Respect is assumed, she replied. Acceptance is required. My heart hammered. I am not nobility. I have no training, no standing. The court would never. They will, she said. Because I will command it. I took a step back without meaning to. And the princess? She has been informed. That was worse. I searched her face for any sign of uncertainty. There was none. And if I refuse? The queen's gaze softened, just a fraction. Then you will return to your life. Another candidate will be chosen. And my daughter will be married into a house that will eventually destroy her. Silence stretched between us. This is not about you, she continued. It is about survival. Hers, the empire's, and in time your people's. My people? I asked hoarsely. You believe humans will always be tolerated as labor? She asked. Empires do not tolerate forever. They absorb or they erase. A human consort changes the narrative. I realized then that she had not chosen me because I was insignificant. She had chosen me because I was symbolic. A bridge. A shield. A calculated risk. When do you expect an answer? I asked. You have already given it, she said. The doors opened behind me. Prepare yourself, Elias Wren, Queen Maleth said. You will meet your future wife. The princess who is not waiting. Princess Lysera did not greet me with outrage or fear. She greeted me with silence. The meeting chamber was smaller, more intimate, filled with living plants and soft light. She stood near a table, arms folded, posture rigid. Unlike her mother, she wore no crown, no armor, just simple robes that marked her status, without display. She was younger than I expected. By Aurelian standards, barely an adult. By human ones, still terrifyingly composed. Her eyes, silver like her mother's, but warmer, met mine and did not look away. So, she said at last. You're the human. I suppose I am, I replied. She studied me openly. You look ordinary. I snorted before I could stop myself. That's what I'm told. A flicker of something, amusement, perhaps, crossed her face. You didn't ask for this, she said. No. Neither did I. That unexpectedly loosened something in my chest. She walked around the table, circling me slowly, as if assessing a tool she had been handed without instructions. Do you know why my mother chose you? I have theories. Do you resent it? I considered the question carefully. I resent being used. I don't resent being chosen. She stopped in front of me. There is a difference? Yes, I said. One leaves room for choice. She nodded slowly. Good. Because I will not accept a consort who resents me. Silence settled, not uncomfortable, but heavy with unspoken terms. This will not be a love story, she said. I wouldn't insult you by pretending otherwise, I replied. Her lips curved faintly. Perhaps we will survive each other. High praise, I said. For the first time, she smiled. The court's reaction. The announcement detonated across the capital. State channels framed it as a historic union, a symbol of unity, a bold step toward integration. Human districts erupted in stunned celebration, disbelief turning to pride overnight. The noble houses reacted with fury barely concealed beneath ritual politeness. I was paraded through receptions, councils, and ceremonies like a living provocation. Every glance was a calculation. Every smile hit a blade. They tested me constantly, subtle insults, intellectual traps, open challenges disguised as tradition. They expected me to break. I did not. Not because I was stronger. Because I was already used to being underestimated. Lysera watched it all with sharp eyes, intervening only when necessary. In private, she was thoughtful, curious, fiercely intelligent. She asked about Earth, about human art and history, about why we laughed when faced with extinction. I asked about her childhood, about what it meant to be raised, knowing the throne would one day be hers. It means never belonging to yourself, she said. Somewhere between shared meals and political lessons, something shifted. Not romance. Understanding. The threat beneath the ceremony. The first assassination attempt came quietly. A toxin woven into ceremonial fabric. Designed for Aurelian physiology. It would have killed Lysera within minutes. I caught it because the molecular pattern was wrong. Because I had spent my life fixing systems others didn't bother to understand. The second attempt was louder. A drone swarm hijacked during a public address. Lysera stood her ground while security scrambled. I pulled her behind a shield generator and rerouted its power directly through my neural interface, burning my synapses, but keeping her alive. After that, the court stopped pretending. Factions declared themselves openly. The queen tightened her grip. The empire teetered on the edge of fracture. And through it all, the narrative persisted. The human consort. The unlikely bond. The future husband. I had never wanted power. But power had found me anyway. Choosing the crown. The final crisis came not from the nobles, but from beyond the border. An Aurelian rival state, sensing weakness, launched a preemptive strike. Fleets clashed. Worlds burned. Lysera took command. I watched her transform, not into a symbol, but into a leader. Calm under pressure. Decisive. Willing to listen. When a critical defense platform failed, she looked to me without hesitation. Can you fix it? She asked. Yes, I said. But it will cost me. She didn't flinch. Then I will stand with you. Side by side, we stabilized the platform, turned the tide, and forced the enemy into retreat. The empire survived. So did we. The ending that was earned. The coronation took place beneath a sky free of warships. Queen Maleth stepped down, her reign complete. Lysera ascended, and I stood beside her. Not as a prize. Not as a pawn, but as her chosen partner. The vows we exchanged were not romantic. They were honest. Commitment to the empire. Commitment to reform. Commitment to each other's agency. As the crowd watched, I realized something profound. I had not been summoned to become royalty. I had been summoned to become responsible for a future larger than myself, for a bridge between worlds. For a woman who did not need saving, but chose me anyway. When the queen called me in, I thought I would leave broken. Instead, I left transformed, not just as her daughter's future husband, but as someone who finally belonged.